Always great to catch up with previous guests here at CES. And, of course, we have the opportunity to chat with our next guest who believes the music-enabled home is something that all consumers can achieve and then, of course, certainly enjoy. He's president and COO of NuVo Technologies, David Rodarte. David, welcome into Tomorrow. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. So pleased to be here with you again, Dave.
Glad to have you as well. You're always coming up with some pretty cool things, and now you're introducing, is it Renovia? Is that how you say it?
It's Renovia. You got that perfectly right.
Tell us about Renovia.
Well, Renovia is really the opportunity to be able to install that fantastic music system that's a part of the home, architectural.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it during construction of the new home. It can be put in easily into an existing home rapidly. And the key is that all the audio and data is being actually distributed over the main electrical lines of the home.
Really? Without that 60-cycle hum?
No,
because
not there.
Previously you've run audio lines across electrical lines, and you generally get a 60-cycle hum.
That's exactly right.
Not the case here.
Not the case here. And it's new technology, but not too new. Going back to 2005, the launch of HomePlug 1.0, there are millions of devices that are already in distribution. Devices like Netgear that are Ethernet extenders. And the real key in this technology, Dave, is that the actual signal over the line gets packetized and put at a very high frequency and then grabbed again and then distributed in the form of music, beautiful music.
So with this whole home audio then and running it through the power lines where we've got plugs all around the house, is that, it seems to me, the key advantage here of getting your tunes wherever in the house you want them?
Yes, and again, in an architectural fashion where there's not a lot of gear that's sitting out and stacked on top of furniture that's in a very nice look. You just want clean and so on and so forth, so you can have high-fidelity music now distributed throughout the home, controlled.
And you mentioned earlier, without having to do it when you're first building a home, because let's face it, most of us are already there and don't have the luxury of building a new home, at least not on a regular basis. So you want to be able to post-install something. And in this case, am I assuming we're plugging something into the electrical outlet and then from there distributing that audio however we want to? Or?
That's exactly right. You would take our Renovia, we call it a hub, which would go right where all of your other video and music equipment is. You just plug that right into the wall. And then all of the data and audio is streamed through the electrical mains, again, through the house.
Right.
And it's received by an amplifier that is then placed within the room, in the wall, very low profile that disappears, very small, and paintable as well. And so it could be put behind a piece of furniture and then connect speakers to that and go from there.
Terrific. So then there you're now achieving not only whole home audio, but when you say connecting speakers, probably you've got at least stereo now in each of the rooms where you want to enjoy your tunes.
Exactly. And this amplifier that's embedded into the wall, into the space that's within the wall, you simply run the speaker wire up to the speakers. Now this is a professionally installed system that would go into the home, and it is high fidelity. This is not boombox material, if you will.
Now, of course, everybody in the family doesn't necessarily always like the same kind of music. So with this whole home audio, do they have to listen to the same thing throughout the house at a given time, or do we have choices in each room?
You absolutely have to have choices. Let's face it, we all want to listen to my music.
Yeah.
And so the system is set up that you can quickly and rapidly connect an iPod dock to it, whether it's wireless somewhere in the home or right near where the main unit is, and be able to receive internet radio as well as AM, FM, and Sirius radio. So lots of music choices, and then controlled in that room by either a keypad or a wireless remote device.
So, of course, we can then attach all of these sources, whether it's our own music library or, as you mentioned, satellite radio, AM, FM, etc., and then select them independent of whatever else anyone else is listening to in any room.
Absolutely, and really the experience for the user is you go to the control pad and you push iPod, you're going to see your music, your titles, your album art that's right there, and then be able to select it. It's actually operating your iPod wherever you place that in the home and plugged it in.
And then you move, say, from one room to another, you simply bring up what you were playing, and it continues.
You could do that. You could throw a party and broadcast the same, or each person can select different, or the same time different. It's totally independent. It's really meant for the user to be their music when they want, how they want.
And how long does it take to install such a system? And I know that you referenced, professional installers as well if you want to run wires in the wall and all that, but you don't need to do that.
No.
So if we're just plugging and playing, as you mentioned, how long are we talking about?
A 4 to 6 room system is going to be in a day for a professional installer. And it's not cutting holes in the wall, dragging wires and saying, gee, Vicki, I'm really sorry. We messed this up. You know, we got to do some plaster work. It's not like that. It's non-intrusive and quick and simple.
Yeah, as you mentioned, being able to hide things even behind a chair or a piece of furniture easily, just wherever there's a plug available is where you're getting the source, right?
Non-visible, invisible. Correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
And what are we talking price-wise for something like this? How do you price such a thing? Obviously, you got to have a master system and then so many slave units, or
correct. But maybe on an average to use that, it's going to be in the $1,000 to $1,500 per room. Again, in a high-fidelity fashion, high-quality speakers and touch controls going with it. Yeah. Finally,
the whole home audio is achievable without post-wiring and all the mess that you mentioned, too.
Exactly.
So do check them out at NuVoTechnologies.com. It's NuVo Technologies.com. Of course, we'll link you to David's site as well as we do all of our guests all the time. So you're just one mouse click away. David, thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
My pleasure to be with you.
Neat stuff. Glad you're able to do it, and especially with the HomePlug 1.0 technology, you're keeping that into tomorrow.
Thank you.
I love it. Back with more as Into Tomorrow continues. I'm Dave Graveline. You're tuned to the Advanced Media Network.